So, yeah, like, remember back then, like, down in Columbia Mall when we actually had Aladdin's Castle?
Yeah, I do. I remember it. That was an experience. Like, I miss arcades just because it's like, where am I going to go now? I don't want to play at home. I want to interact with people and play games. The arcade experience is so much different than the home experience.
Yeah, for one, it gave you a reason to get out of the house.
Yeah.
And another reason, that's usually where you met up with your friends if you weren't going down to their house to play some random crap that they had on their system. Because everything back then, it started in the arcade. It was good in the arcade, then they had a reason to port it over to the home console.
Yeah, I think the first game that really started messing up that trend was Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Because where the arcade experience was so much better, but it was at home you had an arcade port, almost arcade perfect. I mean, aside from like music and stuff.
Yeah.
You had it was almost arcade perfect, and so there was like no point to go except to play against people. And what was that, like 91, 92?
No, but see, that's the thing. If you had it at home, that's how you practice. You could go to the arcade and start beating people. And you know, a lot of people nowadays you'll have people complain, I can't play without an arcade stick, me being one of them. Then you have a bunch of people that grew up playing on a D-pad, playing the way they do, and then we have stuff out now like Street Fighter 4, where if you play on a 360 pad, that atrocious little, okay, I can't say that, but yeah, you try playing on a D-pad with that, you will be frustrated.
You will be.
Yeah.
I was so appalled at the 360 arcade D-pad. What you would call it? It was just so bad. It was like, who would make this and then expect fighters to like play this?
Microsoft.
It's not going to work. Yeah, I know Microsoft will do something stupid like that, but I remember clearly there being a hard transition for me to go between playing on a D-pad and then playing with an arcade stick, like on Mortal Kombat 2, because I had to get used to holding the stick with my fingers, and now even I hold it very uniquely, like I hold it between my fingers like this, and
you had to do it like slow.
Yeah, and I remember I used to hold it like this, but it was so hard to go back and forth that, yeah, I know what that looks like, but it was so hard for me to do moves, and so now I hold it between, I do it like that, and I can do moves and tap, but I just remember it was so hard for me to go back and forth between MK2 and the arcade version and the home version, just because I was so used to playing in the arcade that once I got home, it's like, oh wow, this is a D-pad. What am I supposed to do with this? Like, this is difficult. But I remember growing up in the arcade, and that being my introduction for social etiquette and dealing with other people maybe slightly my own age, but
you always had the grown folk in there that like to try to push you around and whatnot. Like, they lose, but then they want to stay there because apparently they spent 4 hours in that one spot. Apparently they want to leave they don't want to leave that spot. Then you have everybody that's behind them like, look, Pops, get out the way.
Yeah, move, dude. That's not going to work. I remember we had at Aladdin's Castle, when I played MK2, we had these older guys, because I was basically the only female there playing it, and playing MK2, and there were these older guys that kind of watched out for me, but you know, they would let other people know, dude, she's like 12 years old, please don't hit on her, she's a child. She goes to middle school down the street, but
Hedoberry.
but they would have like guys that would watch out for the younger kids that came in, little newbies. They school them and stuff to teach them how to, you know, represent yourself in the coin line.
Yeah, it was that little safety blanket that you had.
Yeah. Nowadays, you can't count on that. You got Xbox Live where people can cuss out 5-year-old children on Xbox Live because they shot somebody in Halo. I mean, that's just, for me...
But then, if you're getting shot by 5-year-olds in Halo, apparently you have no business playing Halo in the first place.
You shouldn't be playing Halo.
Now, if the 5-year-old starts teabagging you, you have no business even turning on your system.
Yeah. I miss that kind of social interaction that you could gain from going to the arcade every week. And there would be your regulars that would be in there every weekend.
Yep.
And you could get in a few good matches, and you know, you'd learn stuff, and you could go home and apply it, and then you come back and you may have a new combo that you've learned from reading the magazine or applying what you learned the previous week, and people, you know, would be like, wow, that's improvement. You know?
And even then, if like you went down with, like, say, just $5 and you burned $5 because you sucked that badly, you still stayed there for about 2-3 hours. You're watching everybody else. When they're done, you're off to the side. You're asking them, how do you do this? How do you do this and that?
Yeah.
You will have a couple of tools that'll be like, I'm not telling you this. You learn yourself. You don't care about them. The ones that actually like cared about the scene actually like took the time to show you, this is what you do. This is what you do against it. So once it comes time to actually like fight them, you know what you're up against.
Yeah, I knew that with, especially with MK2. There was a guy named Ken, and I have no idea where he is now. But Ken was awesome. He was one who took me to the side and said, okay, dude, this is what you need to learn about playing katana. She's fast. She has a high priority. Moves that work against people. This is what you need to learn about people jumping at you. You know, that kind of thing. When to use your fans with katana, that kind of stuff. And it was interesting. I learned a lot from watching others play, and then getting my chance to step up to the machine and play. And then, you know, I remember by the time I got to MK3, people were asking me how to do certain things because I had gotten so good at it that I could teach other people. And even now, when I go to an arcade, if it's old school, then I can do it. But if it's stuff like, you know, MVC2, it's like, no, I'm not teaching anybody anything. But
yeah, considering you have those cheese monkeys that like to see something and just abuse the living hell out of it.
Don't even get me started on Magneto players. It's like, stop it. Just stop it.
I'm sorry. I'm just go ahead and apologize right now for that.
But, I mean, playing Magneto, that was what that's what you do.
That's what I learned.
Everyone does it with Magneto.
Because honestly, I got tired of playing Cable. Like, Hyper B. I got 5 bars, you die. You got tired of that.
Yeah.
So you want to learn something else instead of playing keep away. You actually want to get up in their face and actually bitch slap somebody for doing something stupid.
Yeah.
Even outside the game, when they do something stupid, you want to bitch slap that. But that's another story for another day.
I like using, and this goes back to learning how to play in an arcade. Now I can go in an arcade and just like play and pick up a game and be able to play it really well. And you know, it'd be something that's just come out, but I already know how to play it just because I'm used to playing in an arcade, an arcade setting. It does not replace, playing at home.
True.
I mean, it replaces it, but there's nothing like interacting with other people at a machine, in a hot, crowded arcade on a Saturday afternoon. Trying to spend money that you don't have.
Yeah, which is interesting because you can actually apply that to Dance Dance Revolution as well.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm bringing up the game about the arrows.
I enjoyed going to arcades, traveling to play and find different places to play games. It's just, the industry is just falling apart, and there's nothing anybody can do about it.
Because now, when you think about it, there's really no point. I mean, it's hard for me to say, but there's really no point in having arcades when you have like Xbox Live, PlayStation Network,